China's Center for Disease Control and Prevention revealed today that the Wuhan virus is weaker than SARS. Chinese scientists also found out that the new virus may be linked to fruit bats. Authorities believe the virus originated from the wild animals sold at a seafood market in Wuhan. The fear is that the new virus strain is still adapting and mutating. The Wuhan virus has sickened over 400 people across China and led to 9 deaths. Cases of the virus have also been detected in the US, Japan, Thailand and South Korea. We have China Bureau Chief Tan Dawn Wei, who is in Beijing right now, live on Skype to tell us more. Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
Hi, Dawn. I understand that you were at the press conference this morning. Could you tell us, what's your biggest takeaway from today's briefing from Chinese health authorities?
I think the 3 key points from this morning's briefing is that, number one, this outbreak will continue to grow and the disease will continue to spread as hundreds of millions of Chinese travel home for the Chinese New Year today, tomorrow, and the day after. Second, the virus is adapting and it is mutating. So while it previously couldn't be transmitted through human contact, it now can. And as it adapts and mutates and evolves, it becomes stronger. And that brings us to the third point, which is the worry that a super spreader will emerge. The WHO, the World Health Organization, classifies a super spreader as a highly infectious person who can infect 10 or more people. So, if you have a super spreader in the midst, then, that's the great worry. But the health officials today also said that there is no evidence that a super spreader has emerged. And they were also asked if it was possible that the number of people infected could be in the thousands, as predicted by University of Hong Kong and Imperial College London through modeling. And the answer was no, that does not... that wasn't what they're seeing on the ground.
And Dawn, having said that, what measures are authorities putting in place now to combat the spread of this virus?
I think given the lessons of SARS, China has developed a prevention and control mechanism for infectious diseases. Wuhan, which is ground zero, is on high alert. Its mayor has appealed for Wuhan residents to stay put and for everyone else not to go to Wuhan unless absolutely necessary. And then there are also fever screenings at all the major transport hubs, at the airports, the railway stations, coach stations, the piers. And cars are also subjected to checks in and out of Wuhan to see if they're carrying livestock. All wildlife trading is banned in Wuhan, and restaurants are also not allowed to serve them as well because it is believed that the virus originated from wildlife sold illegally at this market in Wuhan. They haven't quite zeroed in on which animal it is that carried the virus, but they're pretty certain that it came from an animal that was sold at that market, and it was just an assortment of animals that were sold there, from birds to snakes to beavers. So they are racing to see if they can trace this. China has also launched a big hygiene campaign nationwide, encouraging people to wear face masks, to wash their hands regularly, to avoid going to crowded places. And we were also told that all frontline medical staff have been made to cancel their Chinese New Year plans and to stand by, and hospitals have set up pre-screening triages, and suspected cases would go straight to a fever clinic instead of going through A&E or the outpatient clinic. So China has classified this pneumonia as Class B of infectious diseases, which includes SARS, but it is going about tackling it as a Class A disease instead. So the preventive steps are really for most severe cases like the plague and cholera, and that means there is more stringent reporting that needs to be done nationwide, and also greater resources at the disposal as well.
Right. Now, Dawn, of course, you mentioned with regard to the Lunar New Year celebration is, of course, is around the corner, and we spoke about this just earlier as well. What is the sentiments on the ground, seeing that the celebration is just a few days away? How is the mood like? Has it dampened the spirit of the celebration?
I think it has definitely put people on high alert. Previously, before the authorities confirmed that this virus could be transmitted from human to human, people were still sort of relaxed about it. But then since that news came out, I think it was Monday, people have gotten a little bit worried. So like all of a sudden, you see people started wearing face masks and canceling plans to meet up with their friends. And we spoke to one guy who works in Beijing, but whose parents are in Wuhan. And, as with many families in China, he is the only child, is a single child. And he had bought an air ticket to go home for tomorrow, but earlier today, he was made to cancel it because his parents insisted that he didn't come home for Chinese New Year because they were worried about his safety. And he told us that he, is worried for their safety as well. And he told them, please just stay at home, don't go out, don't go to crowded places. And they will just have to speak on the phone on Friday nights, instead of a reunion dinner. Yeah.
Right. Well, we really hope that, of course, the measures that have been in place will curb the spread of the virus. Of course, Dawn, do stay safe while in Beijing, and we understand as well that you're coming back to Singapore on Friday. Have a safe trip here as well.
Thank you.
Now, of course, while there have been no confirmed cases in Singapore, the Ministry of Health has stepped up precautions against the Wuhan virus. Ground zero will be at the National Centre for Infectious Diseases. The Straits Times got an exclusive look at how they have prepared for the worst.
This is still a very, very new virus. We know that it is one of the coronavirus that is within the coronavirus family. So, very likely the transmissions will be very similar to many of the other coronavirus, where we have to take care of droplet transmissions, maybe sometimes airborne transmissions, as well as contact transmission. Patients will go through a clinical assessment as well as laboratory assessment. The purpose is for us to identify whether or not it is due to the novel coronavirus, or it could be due to any other very common viruses in circulations that can give rise to acute respiratory illness. Avoid crowded area, and if you need to step out of your house, good to put on a surgical mask, wash hands very frequently, do good hand hygiene, as well as to always update their vaccinations, for example, influenza vaccinations. If they need to travel, pay specific attentions to the area that they will be traveling, and of course avoid some of the at-risk area, for example, very crowded area, or the market area, or potentially come into contact with live animal or poultry markets.
Stay up to date with the latest on the Wuhan virus on straitstimes.com.